R. Kelly, once hailed as the king of R&B, a multi-Grammy-winning singer whose music defined generations, became one of the most notorious figures in music history. Behind the chart-topping hits and sold-out tours, a shocking story of abuse, manipulation, and criminal allegations unfolded over decades. From young fans to aspiring singers, many claimed they were trapped in a web of sexual exploitation orchestrated by a man who wielded fame as a weapon. How could one of music's most beloved artists commit crimes that haunted his victims for years? How did the industry, the media, and society allow these allegations to persist for decades? This isn't just a scandal, it's a chilling story of power, fame, and betrayal. Robert Sylvester Kelly was born in 1967 in Chicago, Illinois. Growing up in the city's rough neighborhoods, he turned to music as an escape. By the late 1980s, Kelly was producing hits for other artists and quickly earned a reputation as a musical genius. His debut solo album, 12 Play, became a cultural phenomenon, solidifying his place as the king of R&B. Fans were captivated by his smooth voice, provocative lyrics, and undeniable charisma. Music videos, sold-out tours, and chart-topping singles made him a household name. But behind the fame, dark allegations had already begun to surface. Rumors circulated, lawsuits were quietly filed, and whispers of underage relationships hinted at a secret life that contrasted sharply with his public persona. Throughout the 1990s and 2000s, Kelly faced multiple allegations of sexual misconduct involving minors. Lawsuits, interviews, and investigative reports pointed to a disturbing pattern of grooming and exploitation. Victims described manipulative behavior, psychological control, and predatory tactics. Yet, despite the seriousness of the accusations, Kelly continued to perform, record, and dominate the charts. Many in the industry chose to overlook the warnings, allowing the allegations to go unpunished for years. The disconnect between his celebrity image and his criminal behavior created a culture of denial, leaving many victims silenced and powerless. The tide began to turn in 2017 with the release of the documentary series Surviving R. Kelly. Victims bravely came forward, sharing their stories in chilling detail, exposing decades of abuse to the public eye. Interviews with former associates and survivors revealed how R. Kelly used fame, wealth, and influence to manipulate vulnerable individuals. Public outrage surged, fans expressed shock, and former collaborators faced scrutiny. Social media amplified the voices of survivors, forcing law enforcement and the music industry to finally respond. The documentary's impact was undeniable, a turning point that redefined accountability in celebrity culture. In 2019, Kelly was arrested on federal charges, including sexual exploitation, child pornography, and racketeering. These charges stemmed from decades of allegations and ongoing investigations across multiple states. The courtroom drama captured worldwide attention, turning headlines into a daily spectacle. Prosecutors painted a portrait of a man who meticulously orchestrated a system to control, intimidate, and abuse his victims. The trial revealed the inner workings of his operation, a network of enablers, hush money, and threats aimed at keeping victims silent. Each testimony added weight to the evidence against him, creating a damning narrative that left little room for doubt. In September 2021, Kelly was convicted on multiple federal charges, including sexual exploitation of a minor and racketeering. The verdict marked a moment of justice for victims who had waited decades to be heard. Sentencing reinforced the principle that fame and wealth do not shield individuals from accountability. Yet, the case also ignited discussions about how the music industry enabled his behavior and how society often failed survivors. Kelly's legacy is now inextricably linked to scandal, abuse, and the power imbalance between celebrities and their fans. His story serves as both a warning and a call to action, a reminder that no amount of fame can justify exploitation and that survivors' voices must always be heard. R. Kelly's story is a cautionary tale of unchecked fame, celebrity privilege, and the long path to justice. Music may have immortalized his talent, but the shadows of scandal and abuse define his legacy in history. This story forces us to question how society treats survivors, confronts powerful figures, and ultimately decides between entertainment and ethics. The R. Kelly scandal is more than just headlines. It's a lesson in accountability, morality, and the dark side of fame.